Starts now.
Welcome to Newswatch 12 at 5. I'm Justin Betty. Over the last year, nearly everyone's job has been affected by COVID-19, but few have had to make more adjustments than teachers. Well, this week, in honor of Teacher Appreciation Week, several teachers in the school district of Rhinelander were nominated for Golden Apple Awards. Newswatch 12's Morgan Johnson was there for their surprise announcements.
Good morning, Mrs. Lee.
Good morning. The look of pure surprise that 19 teachers in the school district of Rhinelander experienced all in one day.
I am feeling extremely honored.
Joellen Leek was one of those teachers and works at Central Intermediate School. Leek was nominated for a Golden Apple Award.
I didn't expect this. I really appreciate the honor.
Created by the Rhinelander Partners in Education, the Golden Apple Award program honors teachers.
We wanted to recognize all the teachers in the district that are doing an outstanding job, that are nominated by other staff, parents, or students in the school district of Rhinelander.
And in a year when nothing was normal, Vanny felt it was necessary.
I think teachers can go unappreciated sometimes with all they do for students.
Congratulations on your nomination for the Golden Apple.
Ann Edwards, a first grade teacher at Pelican Elementary, was also a nominee.
I tell this class every day, and they know it, that I've never had a group of kids that makes me so excited to come to school every day.
Especially when Edwards didn't know what to expect at work.
In a year that I was terrified to come to school and be a teacher because I had no idea what it was going to be, you 12 boys and girls have made it the best year I've ever had as a teacher. And I will never forget any of you, and you are so special and wonderful, and I love all of you.
Just down the hall from Edwards is Sean.
At Marthaler's in Minocqua, we don't sell you a car, we help you buy a car. It's our goal to provide you with an excellent purchase and ownership experience. Stop by Marthaler's on Highway 51 in Minocqua or shop, click, and drive at MinocquaCars.com.
David Bakhtiari?
What? Gosh, I'm Danny Bonaparte. I'm a new Cellcom customer looking for the latest deal.
Cellcom's great deals are available for everyone, new customers or existing ones like you, David. So there's no need to pretend.
Look, I don't know this David gentleman you speak of, but I'm sure he's a swell guy.
Great deals for everyone. Cellcom, clarity in a cloudy world.
How did she know?
Breyers is always so delicious. I can tell that they use your milk, Matilda. Great job. You're welcome.
Breyers Natural Vanilla is made with 100% grade A milk and cream and only sustainably farmed vanilla. Better starts with Breyers.
The Dove Beauty Bar makes my skin feel fresh. I've encouraged Serena, my best friend, to switch. Feels moisturized and clean. My friend Stephanie, her skin was dry. I'm like, girl, you better get you some Dove.
She hooked me up. With the Quarter Moisturizing Cream, Dove cleans effectively and cares beautifully.
Isn't it great how swinging through Culver's drive-thru marks the unofficial start to family time? How biting into a hot-off-the-grill butter burger makes worries melt away? And how a fresh frozen custard concrete mixer puts a smile on your face every time. Here, a meal you didn't have to make is a meal made fresh for you. And being greeted with a smile, even beneath a mask, makes all the difference.
There's a reason we put so much care into our food. That reason is you. Welcome to Delicious.
Rejuvenate your home during Renewal by Andersen Spring Savings Event. Call now to schedule your free window diagnosis and take advantage of this incredible limited time offer. Call the number below or visit us online today. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Obviously, we're fighting some technical gremlins this evening, but we will have the full story for you. You saw most of it tonight on Newswatch 12 at 10. All right, let's switch gears now, talk a little bit about the weather outside. Newswatch 12 meteorologist Andrew Kiekefer is here. Andrew, expecting some chilly temperatures tonight.
That's right, Justin. After a pretty chilly day today with those temperatures below average in the 50s and 40s in the North Woods, we'll be getting cool tonight, and that does warrant a frost advisory coming our way tonight. So we will be seeing less of those clouds throughout the rest of the evening to overnight hours, clearing on out. And this is kind of a recipe for what we're seeing here. Frost advisory coming overnight. That will be lasting until Wednesday morning. More of that in your full forecast. Now looking hour by hour at the rest of our Tuesday night. We're in the 40s now, getting down to about 30 degrees for our overnight lows. And then we'll be back up in the 50s on your Wednesday. Justin?
All right, thank you, Andrew. Across the country, the number of new COVID-19 deaths per day is now the lowest it's been since last summer, less than 700 per day over the last week, according to the latest numbers from Johns Hopkins. Here in Wisconsin, the number of daily deaths has been bouncing between, say, 3 and 6 for most of March and April. You do see it has risen a bit over the last week, though most of those deaths actually happened more than a month ago and are just now being reported. Meanwhile, new case numbers have been holding steady. DHS reports 721 new cases today, dropping our 7-day rolling average slightly to 633. Across Wisconsin, more than 43% of all people have now received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. In Oneida County, that number is just shy of 50%. DHS reports about 35% of people have now completed their COVID-19 vaccination in Wisconsin, though the pace of vaccinations has been declining for about a month now. While U.S. cases and deaths are dropping, the pandemic continues to overwhelm India, where state health officials say there are 20 million active cases right now. Oxygen shortages among the many factors and issues in India's surging death toll, over 222,000 so far. The U.S. has now sent 5 shipments of oxygen concentrators to the country, including this arrival, 545 concentrators that just came in this morning into New Delhi earlier this morning. The growing number of COVID variants, meanwhile, appearing in outbreak areas across the world, has prompted Pfizer to begin research into potential, they're calling them vaccine boosters, to ensure their product's protection from the virus will continue. The company's CEO said today they have already developed a vaccine variant designed specifically for the South African mutation, and he expects people will need a third dose, a so-called booster shot, about 6 to more likely 12 months after getting their second shot.
With all of that in mind, it's more likely than not that a booster will be needed between 6 and 12 months. And then we need to see, likely will be regular vaccinations to maintain the protection. But we don't know yet for sure.
Pfizer announced last month their vaccine was still 95% effective against severe disease up to 6 months after the second dose, and it may last longer. 6 months is just the longest they've been able to test so far. However, Bula says they are being proactive by working on these booster shots. President Biden addressed the COVID-19 response and vaccination program today from the White House, where he set a new goal, making sure at least 70% of Americans have had at least the first dose of the vaccine by July 4th. The Biden administration also announcing plans to redistribute unordered vaccines. In other words, governors who don't order all the available vaccine doses for their state based on population will lose those shots. They'll go to states with higher demand. Adding he wants to shift focus from at-risk groups to 3 other main populations.
Kids between 12 and 15 who are awaiting potential FDA authorization to get a shot. 2, adults who have had trouble locating a place to get a shot or who just haven't gotten around to it. And 3, those who need more convincing, being convinced of the necessity of getting the vaccine.
Experts now worry that third group, adults just not interested in getting the vaccine, may prevent the U.S. from reaching true herd immunity, even with a continued supply of vaccines. Vice President Kamala Harris visited Wisconsin today, making a trip to Milwaukee to promote the American Jobs Plan. Harris toured a clean energy lab at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, followed by a roundtable discussion with leaders from across the state to address the Biden administration's plan, aiming to create green energy jobs across the country. The American Jobs Plan includes hundreds of billions of dollars in funding to modernize education, fund research, and make clean energy technologies more accessible. It's all in an effort to address climate change and help boost the economic recovery. After finishing listening sessions last week, the Wisconsin Legislature's Republican-led Joint Committee on Finance released their list of budget proposals they plan to remove from Governor Evers' proposed budget plan. The 2021 to 2023 budget won't include full Medicaid expansion, criminal justice reform for minors, nor automatic voter registration, all Evers' proposals. Other proposals being removed include decriminalization or legalization of marijuana in Wisconsin, state and municipal broadband expansion, and carbon-free electricity goals. GOP policymakers in the state say they are just clearing out policy that doesn't belong in the budget. The Price County Highway Department will close a rural stretch of Highway YY from German Settlement Road to Meyer Road for 2 days starting tomorrow. The highway will be closed from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days. There'll be no sign detour provided for this 2-day closure. So most people should be able to get around it, however, by taking routes 102 and 86. On the other side of the North Woods, road closures will continue on County Trunk Highway M in Lincoln County. It's west of Merrill. Road officials say culvert replacements being done in the town of Corning near Cedar Road, as well as on East and West Homestead roads tomorrow from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. After not even a year of being reopened, the city of Park Falls is now petitioning Price County Court to place their paper mill back into receivership. The paper mill was recently taken over by Park Falls Industrial Management. It reopened to much fanfare, you'll remember, last September. But in March of this year, the mill began to lay off employees, with officials saying they expected a shutdown only for a week or two. Well, now it's been closed for 7 weeks, and more layoffs have been issued. City Mayor Michael Bablik says because the city issued a loan to the company, they felt it's in their best interest to have City Council move forward with this process of receivership.
Things were going in a pretty decent direction finance-wise. Right up until about middle of last week is when those deals, it seemed like, finally just dissolved. Finally, it was enough for me to say, okay.
Well, the city does anticipate full repayment of the loan, by the way. Their main concern is making sure workers are paid and that the facility remains environmentally protected.
We felt the best way to protect the employees for wages, the environment, and also our liabilities is to put it into receivership. We still haven't received any information from the court about when there'll be a hearing or anything like that, but it should be a fairly swift process.
As for the mill's future, following the court's decision, the city says there is interest from multiple parties, and having it sit idle for years is not an option. We'll have more on this story coming up on Newswatch 12 at 6. Mother's Day arrived early for Rosalie, a peregrine falcon in Marathon County. Her 18th chick hatched at the Weston Power Plant today. Peregrine falcon is an endangered species. WPS helps the birds by building nests. You can watch their other 3 eggs that still have not hatched on their Nest Cam live stream. And voting for the chicks' names ends May 11th, with names coming mostly from helpers and heroes of the COVID-19 pandemic. Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May. And if you're craving some Mexican food, we'll show you where you can go to celebrate and dig into the festivities. But first, Andrew is in with your full forecast. You're watching Newswatch 12, proud to serve Deerbrook, folks all across the North Woods of Wisconsin.
The Auto Show started with an idea: honor the future of innovation, while celebrating today with special Auto Show offers on select Ford vehicles. For generations, that's exactly what Ford has done and continues to do. Because when all is said and done, Auto Show is more than just an event. It's a step towards a better future. This Auto Show season, get an F-150 with $4,000 total cash back. Only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
There's no telling what the next Wisconsin Lottery scratch game will bring. It's Hot Sevens. A sizzling new family of games with prices of $1, $2, $5, and $10. The bigger the ticket, the bigger the top prize. All the way up to $100,000. Instant scratch games from the Wisconsin Lottery. Odds are you'll like them.
Managing type 2 diabetes? You're on it. Staying fit and snacking light? Yep, on it there too. You may think you're doing all you can to manage type 2 diabetes and heart disease. But could your medication do more to lower your heart risk? Jardiance can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease, so it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And it lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar,
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
On it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Welcome back and happy May the 4th. Star Lover fans out there today having a bit of a cool day. High temperatures in the North Woods peaking into the upper 40s. Central Wisconsin 50s. Tonight we're getting down around freezing. So we do have a frost advisory that's in effect for much of central Wisconsin, all the way towards Minnesota and over towards Lake Michigan. So for tonight, some things you want to consider with a frost advisory include having materials ready to go for those. So we're talking about covering up plants, giving them kind of an insulation to bear through those temperatures overnight. And when you cover up those plants, you want to do that before sunset, before it gets too chilly out there. And in the morning, you do want to give them that opportunity to hit that sun right away in the morning. So best to uncover those sooner than later in the morning. And of course, make sure you're up to date with the forecast. Clear nights and temperatures near freezing are going to be good indicators of a freeze advisory coming through your area. So looking at those temperatures now, like I said, North Woods had a lot of us in the 40s today. A couple of us broke into the 50s. Central Wisconsin 50s were a lot more common today, and overnight we are getting down to about freezing temperatures. Now, looking big picture for the rest of our night, we are also having clearing skies, so any showers are mostly off to our east at this point. We could have a couple light sprinkles, but high pressure is crossing into the area, and that will be clearing us out. So looking a little closer to home, we will be having a couple light sprinkles possible yet into the later afternoon, evening hours, but with that clearing tonight, we should stay mostly on the dry side. So here we go, looking at the rest of our Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. You'll be seeing a pretty starry night heading into the very early hours of Wednesday before daybreak, and then we'll be having kind of a mix of sun and clouds to head into your Cinco de Mayo. So looking at the day, so we're going to be starting off the day with maybe a couple clouds, temperatures right around freezing, and just before noon we'll be breaking towards the 50s, again with that mix of sun and clouds, and into the evening hours finally into the 50s, and again that'll be that mix of sun and clouds crossing the region, maybe a little more on the cloudy side through overnight. Now looking at your temperature trend after May 5th, we have pretty steady temperatures all the way through the rest of the forecast period, below our average high of 62 for this time of year, so a little bit on the chilly side, but nothing too not tolerable here in the region. So looking at the rest of our night though, we do have those temperatures getting down to around 30 degrees, so that's not tolerable for plants outside. You want to be just making sure that you're on top of that frost coming through tonight, and there will be a northwest breeze coming in at 5 to 15 miles per hour. And now getting into your Wednesday, we'll see that sun again, high temperatures getting into the 50s, and again that'll be kind of a mix of sun and clouds, so we're not talking a really sunny day, but certainly more sun than we have seen in much of the last couple of days here. And now looking at your Northwoods Furniture and Mattress 7-day forecast, so we're looking at Cinco de Mayo, high temperatures in the 50s, a mix of sun and clouds, and for the rest of the forecast period we will stay more on the dry side, though a couple light sprinkles could be sneaking on into the forecast. Those will be most likely in the overnight periods. Otherwise we'll be having kind of that mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the week, and high temperatures pretty chilly for this time of year in the low to mid 50s. Justin?
All right, thank you, Andrew. Tomorrow is May 5th. Cinco de Mayo celebrates Mexican heritage and culture. Many celebrate by eating their fill of Mexican cuisine. Mexican restaurants count on May 5th being a big business day for them. One restaurant, Tomahawk, is pulling out all the stops to make it special.
We have good food, a lot of drinks, margaritas and stuff. We also bring in a donkey to dress as a Mexican donkey, so anybody can take pictures from 4 to 6 o'clock.
El Joveneso opened in 2019. Fuentes expects this year's celebration to be their biggest yet, especially with more customers feeling confident to dine in instead of just carrying out.
Last year was only in and out, so it's going to be way different. Hopefully the weather's good so we could use the patios.
Fuentes encourages folks to come by, try some of their authentic Mexican dishes alongside their more Americanized favorites. He recommends the cow tongue street tacos. Suggestion. Today is May 4th, or Star Wars Day for fans of the franchise. May the 4th be with you. Today, the Walt Disney Company revealed what some are calling a real lightsaber. Performers will showcase these lightsabers, the company's Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, in a controlled environment. The hotel is set to open next year at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. What makes these lightsabers unique is that they collapse, much like the ones in the movie. They are very realistic. Disney has been kind of quiet on what actually goes into the technology that creates this weapon. We now have a picture of the man law enforcement believes killed 2 people and wounded a third at the Oneida Casino in Brown County this weekend. Brown County Sheriff's Office released this photo of the suspected shooter. His name is Bruce Pofall. He's a former employee who was banned from the property. Pofall himself was shot and killed by officers at the casino on Saturday. Meanwhile, we're now hearing for the first time from some of the witnesses and survivors of that shooting. Here's the latest of that.
He's dead now.
Here's a video taken by Tom Felsinelli.
I heard about 13 seconds of gunfire. It sounded like the Wild Wild West.
Tom was outside the Radisson Hotel waiting for his wife Kathy to come downstairs when chaos broke out.
I just hit record, and it's scary when you listen to it. It's just like I said, the Wild Wild West. And I knew what was happening.
Kathy found herself in the middle of it all. She was on the elevator going downstairs when her husband notified her about the shooting.
I go down and I'm like, he's texting. And then he said something about shooter. And I'm like, I don't know what this means exactly. So I call him. As the elevator doors are opening, he goes, there's an active shooter on the scene. Don't leave the room. I'm like, I'm in the lobby. He's like, get out of there. I closed the elevator doors and went up to my room.
She says people were all over the place doing everything they could to get out.
I could just see people running through. People were pushing other people out the door. There's just yelling, you've got to get out of here now. You've got to get out of here now. And I went back up to my room on the 3rd floor, which happens to have a window that overlooks the lobby. So I could see like the people in the restaurant that work there, they're all running out, the workers, everybody.
Kathy eventually came down through one of the stairwells. She was able to safely get out and be reunited with her husband.
Kind of like just dealing with it. You know, you're kind of in shock, and then the next day you start thinking what happened and how, like, you can just be anywhere nowadays and you don't know, like, if something like this is going to happen.
Police say the 3rd victim in that shooting remains in the hospital recovering. We'll be right back with one final look at your forecast after this break.
Save big money on all of your projects at Menards. Provide your exterior wood surfaces advanced protection from sunlight and moisture with Pittsburgh paints and stains. Right now, all Pittsburgh Ultra stains are 11% off. DuraClean Exterior Paint and Primer in 1 delivers superior adhesion to dirty, chalky, and glossy surfaces. Pick up a gallon of flat paint for only $27.49 after 11% rebate. Get 11% off everything at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
At Papa Murphy's, we need seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
Stop worrying about where to start, when to start, how to start. Helping is what we do at Rasmussen University. Stop with the self-doubt. Your confidence will grow every day. Whether you take classes online or in person, we're here to lift you up with support and encouragement. It's time to stop waiting and start doing. It's official. You have the green light. Now get going. It's time to transform your life. Enroll today at Rasmussen University. Green means go.
Some days, you just don't have it. Not my uncle, though. He's taking Trulicity for his type 2 diabetes. And now, he's really on his game.
Once weekly Trulicity lowers your A1C by helping your body release the insulin it's already making. Most people reached an A1C under 7%. Plus, Trulicity can lower your risk of cardiovascular events. It can also help you lose up to 10 pounds. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Show your world what's truly inside. Ask your doctor about once weekly Trulicity.
During Renewal by Andersen's gigantic Memorial Day sale, get unbelievable savings on the most trusted family of window and patio door brands in America. Act now, because these Memorial Day sale savings end soon. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
In honor of Star Wars Day today, local bakery BC Cupcakes in Rhinelander and Crandon posted some pictures of these delicious treats on Facebook. You notice Yoda at the bottom, some stormtroopers, and that's a Wookiee over on the right side of your screen. Plenty of other franchise favorites as well. It's making me hungry. We also talked about Mexican food before. Not really fair for those of us who are not eating dinner quite yet, Andrew, but looks good.
No kidding, Justin. Looks as good, hopefully, as they look. Those are really great looking treats out there, and I'm sure they taste great. Now taking a turn outside, so talking about your plants outside, I want to take a moment here to talk about our frost advisory that is in effect for most of central Wisconsin. We are in the growing season now, so for those of you that don't like that sweet tooth and have your gardens going, here are a couple steps to consider for when you see a frost advisory in your forecast. So to plan ahead, you want to have row covers ready to go, maybe even some cold frames. Those are kind of boxy type structures that you can have your plants in outside, and those are used to cover those up. So when you cover up your plants, best to do that before the sunset period, before those temperatures really plummet into the overnight hours, and you want to reveal those by mid-morning, so you don't want to starve your plants of getting that fresh oxygen and that sunshine. So we uncover those as soon as possible, and then just always make sure you're up on the forecast. Clear nights and temperatures near freezing, aka what we have going on tonight, is going to be a good recipe and a good indicator that you might need to be tending to your plants overnight to avoid any mishaps with any frost. So looking at the rest of our night, like I said, we have temperatures getting down around freezing tonight, a forecasted low of 30 degrees in Rhinelander tonight. So definitely take those precautions seriously for your plants overnight. And then looking at your extended forecast, we could be having a couple more advisories coming up this week with temperatures, those overnight lows getting to around freezing, even a little bit cooler than that for the next several nights. And those high temperatures a bit cooler too, Justin. So I don't know about you, but if you're a gardener, definitely take those precautions.
Not bad days ahead, but it's still a little chilly for this time of year. We'll deal with it. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for joining us on News Watch 12 at 5. NBC Nightly News is next.